Let's now look at the authors from Tobias Smollett to W.B. Yeats. Tobias Smollett was a Scottish author who wrote 2 picaresque novels. Remember what picaresque means. It is a novel that follows a rascal character. We went over very specifically the 7 criteria for a picaresque novel that makes it different from another type of narrative. And one of those criteria was that the protagonist changes very little, remember? So in these 2 novels, The Adventures of Roderick Random and The Adventures of Peregrine Pickle, you probably start to see the similarity of picaresque novels that I have covered for you. They have the protagonist or title character in the title. Edmund Spenser was English. He wrote The Faerie Queene, which gave much delight to Elizabeth I, as it alluded to her being an heir of King Arthur. The Faerie Queene was about the Tudors. He used distinctive verse form in the Faerie Queene, and it actually became a form known as Spenserian stanza and Spenserian sonnet. The Faerie Queene being one of the most important poems that you need to know for the exam. Algernon Swinburne is a Victorian poet, an English poet known for decadence and creating the roundel form of poetry. We did not review the roundel form of poetry as it's a much lesser known and lesser used form. But if you would like to go and research it, you may. It is similar to the way a round is sung in children's songs. He wrote poems and ballads. Alfred Tennyson was an Englishman who wrote the poem Ulysses in blank verse. He also wrote Idylls of the King. He, along with John Stuart Mill and John Carlyle, suffered a personal crisis of faith, as all 3 were Christians and writers. Virginia Woolf, a woman writer that I covered in the Women Writers Unit, was a modernist English author. She's wrote Professions for Women, Mrs. Dalloway, Orlando, and To the Lighthouse. She was also writing many poems at the time as well. She is one of the preeminent forerunners of feminist writing and feminist theory in literature. William Wordsworth was an English romantic who wrote lyrical ballads with Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Remember the book in which Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, was in. Wordsworth's Prelude was an autobiographical poem. Wordsworth was extremely influential to the Romantic writers of his time. W.B. Yeats, our final author in this unit, was an Irish poet and symbolist, which means that he used many symbols in his poetry as a way of communicating more efficiently the themes and arguments in his poems. He wrote The Isle of Statues, The Wandering of Ulsine, and Easter 1916, which was about the struggle for Irish independence. Remember to review the names of these authors. Remember to mark their descent, which is their country of origin or nationality, and write down at least 2 works affiliated with each author on your list and in your notes. And then take the study guide questions at the end to see what you've remembered so far.